How would I know if my treatment plant isn't working correctly?
Okay. Again, this is something that we might want to separate between Graf systems and potentially some other competitor systems. With the Graf systems, we generally have a working control panel which is supporting the operation of the system. So this is opening and closing the valves for the airlift technology as well as running off the compressor. If you were to have a potential fault or a warning with the system, we would generally get a red light come from the system, and you may also get an audible sound depending on whether you have the more advanced system option. So that is something which we talk about when we talk about potentially the working operation. We will generally get a warning from the control panel to tell us that something's wrong. In terms of the biological process, so if there's not something quite right going on internally to the tank, this is generally affected potentially with stuff that we don't want going into the tank. So with wastewater treatment systems, we generally encourage people to, of course, put domestic waste and water down into the tank only. It's when you get things which aren't biodegradable going down into that tank, or high volumes of bleach and stuff, or basically huge fluctuations of stuff, and then, of course, nothing, and then more stuff come in. You're generally going to change that biological process going on with the tank. And with the change to the biological process, you are going to get smells being generated from the bacteria. So a good indication, if you know that something's going wrong wrong in the underground tank, is that you'll get a smell being generated from the system. These, of course, can be looked at. It's a very good indication if you've got a good working treatment performance, is that you have no smells from your treatment plant. So that's just really something for them to look out for. It might also be something that if you've got a holiday home, for example, where you are going to get fluctuations of loads, it might be worth looking at a ventilation system, as we've mentioned earlier today, to really encourage, if there are any foul water smells produced, we can get them going where we want them to go instead of going back up into the property. Because, of course, with holiday homes, you may not have people visiting there every week. Therefore, the traps of the sinks and showers and stuff, you may get that water basically evaporating out of them, in which case, once the water's gone, those smells, of course, will flow back up into the property. So just something to really bear in mind. But if we've got a good working treatment plant, should be fine. It's if we have something going wrong in terms of the biological process, or potentially with the operational point of view with the control panel, they will get they'll notice it generally through smell initially.